everyone, and welcome to the MFG Advocate. I'm Penny Brown with AMT, the Association for Manufacturing Technology. And today I'm speaking with Jay Rogers, the CEO of Local Motors. How are you today, Jay?
I'm great, Penny. Thanks for having me today.
Well, thank you for being here. So last fall, tons of excitement at IMTS when Local Motors was part of the build of Strati, the world's first 3D printed car. So what's been up with the car since then?
It was really exciting to debut the world's first 3D printed car at the IMTS show, and the car has been on a whirlwind tour, basically being an advocate for a new tool in manufacturing, and that is really large-scale additive. And it's been across the country, talking to students, working with co-creators that are fascinated by what this could mean for their industry.
Now, I know Local Motors, it's not just about 3D printing, it's like a whole new way of manufacturing. So can you kind of tell us your philosophy?
We characterize it with one simple phrase, DDM, or it stands for direct digital manufacturing. So this whole notion that we've come to in manufacturing, especially in cars, has been one over the last 100 years based on prototyping. And really with the new tools that are available today, because so much can be defined digitally, we like to think more in terms of rapid product, and direct digital manufacturing gets us there. That's really why the word direct, because you're going straight from the digital to the part.
It's kind of that dream of getting something where you want exactly when you want it.
That's exactly right. It really enables the idea of demand-driven supply, if you will. And really, we've been in a supply-driven economy in automotive with the massive supply chain tail that works on building vehicles. We've never been able to think about direct digital manufacturing. But now that there are tools that make that much closer to reality, we can see their minds starting to run with it.
Now, going back to Strati, do you think, in taking this around, do you really think there's been a lot more interest built in manufacturing, especially among students?
I think that some of the areas of study and areas of industry that have previously not been so cool to people are suddenly becoming cool again. Take, for example, manufacturing broadly, but within it, material science, process improvement, things like that. Now you have Six Sigma black belts that are saying, wait, this is not in my curriculum. I don't know how to teach this. And you have material scientists that are saying polymers are cool again. And you have kids that are saying, wait, I can print that on my MakerBot, but now I could have a job, or I could make this the car that we're going to have for my family. Those are areas that might have been thought about, but were never quite as cool as they are now.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know Local Motors is opening a facility in the National Harbor area, which is in Maryland, just across the river from DC. What are you doing with the federal government there to kind of raise awareness about the industry?
So for us, we really believe in one strong phrase when it comes to manufacturing or distributed manufacturing, and that is, in order to make local big, you've got to make big things local. And so being in distributed areas, in cities, in regions, is a core part of our strategy. So of course, being in the nation's capital as one of those distributed areas really changes the dialogue from this constant banter between, are we offshoring or are we onshoring? Are we reshoring or are we offshoring? What it really turns it into is local shoring. And to local shore right in the nation's capital gets everyone's attention. And certainly from Department of Energy to the Department of Defense to the Department of Transportation, and then municipal departments. So when you get Prince George's County in Maryland, those are really exciting areas to have a look at distributed manufacturing.
I understand you've also got some research partnership going with University of Maryland.
Indeed. So as one of the largest, perhaps the largest research university in the DC area, there's a great opportunity for us to be able to work with students and researchers, postdocs and undergrads, to be able to come and look at what they can provide as additional to vehicular manufacturing. They've got a great neutral buoyancy lab. They've got a great additive lab that's focused on smaller scale additive. They've got an incredible capstone project, work that they do with companies like DeWalt and other types of manufacturers that are in the area like Under Armour. And so it's a very exciting thing for them to see National Harbor add a STEM education portion to the offering that they give to the public.
Absolutely. So I know you're here to talk about additive manufacturing and kind of its more, the growth, like where it's going. So from that demo at IMTS where you built the car, where is this industry headed?
So many people when we went to IMTS said, so this is a stunt or it's a gimmick or something like that. And for us, this was rapid product. And so the Strati represents the first. It's a neighborhood electric vehicle, if you will. But it won't really be real in people's mind until it becomes a highway-capable vehicle that they can imagine commuting in. There will be days where we will have all rideshare, fleet vehicles, perhaps. There will be days where we have flying cars, other things like that. But today we have a highway system that includes part of most people's commute to work. And so in order to be able to commute safely, you need a vehicle that really is ready to do that. And the Strati is on its way as a beginning to the 3D printed car of the future, of which, with DDM, we could have many models. So we begin a 24-month exercise to go from bringing neighborhood electric vehicles to bringing highway-capable vehicles. And so you're going to see vehicles on the road as NEVs in 2015, and then you're going to see our crash testing protocol all displayed online for everybody to see. And then you're going to see the material changes that we make, multiple material deposition, all feeding into that to be able to get the first highway-capable vehicle on the road in 2016.
Great. So what's next for Local Motors?
Well, there's so much. We think about this a lot. We have this little bit of a rubber band between, is this the right process for what we're going to do for the next 2 years, or do we need to keep developing processes? And I think we're in the middle of this process is very much the right one for us, but now we're talking about defining the edges, like how do the machines come together and how does the material come together? How does the testing come together to be able to make this work? We're so far ahead of the regulation that now we're trying to figure out, we could theoretically make cars so much safer than they're made today that the regulators will be testing for things that are really pretty lowbrow associated with what you could do with this material. We want to be part of that dialogue defining what the future regulation looks like.
Well, excellent. It's very exciting to see what you guys are doing, always.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. This has been Penny Brown with the MFG Advocate. Check out our blog at mfgadvocate.com.